Welcome back to the Goonerverse, everyone. We're live for the player ratings. Arsenal beat Chelsea 2-1. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't entertaining, scintillating, exciting. It's not a game we'll all be rushing to watch back if we do at all. But I think it's an important win. I think it's a big 3 points. I think that my match reaction's out on Goonerverse News now. Sorry that it came out a little late. I was with TalkSport. But my overriding message in that was sometimes there is room for finding a way. Sometimes you've got to be more critical about the football. You've got to be going into detail about what you're seeing, and you've got to call it for what it is, because there might be some concerning patterns there. But other times it's as simple as Chelsea are a good team and we found a way. And that's how I felt about this game. We weren't great, far from it. There are longer term issues that I've had an issue with for a lot of this campaign that I think I'll continue to have an issue with between now and the end of the season. However, if you bring me that title, I won't care about the noise. You're the worst champions. It's ugly to watch. We're not here to entertain the neutral. No one is bothered about whether the neutral is entertained. I'm not sure I've ever watched my rivals win the league. No, I'm not sure. I know I haven't. I've never watched I was about to say I'm not sure I've ever been entertained. I have. Obviously, watching other very good teams play football, I have been. But I've never watched my rivals, because all of them, Liverpool, United, City, they're all rivals, Chelsea. I've never watched any of them win the league and gone, oh, disappointed they won it and it wasn't us. But do you know what? They thoroughly entertained me. Like, fair play. They thoroughly entertained me. And I've just, I feel good about that. I can appreciate, I can watch and go, wow, they are great to watch. I can enjoy their games in a, they're involved in some great games, some great football. But like, it's never been, I've never been bothered. I want Arsenal to win. That's all I care about. So we're not here to entertain the rivals or the neutrals. But what we are here to do is win football matches. And my question is this football winning football? That would be, I suppose, my bigger concern. I don't think I've worded that very well, what I was saying earlier. Obviously, I've been entertained watching other sides, but I think what I mean is there's not a joy, is there? I don't get a joy out of my rivals being good because they're particularly entertaining. The first feeling that sits with you is, oh, they're really good and I wish we were that good. So there we go. Like I said, we're not here to entertain anyone. We are here on this live stream to do player ratings, and I'd love all your thoughts in the live comments. You're all here. Hope you are all well. We got dominated by 10-man Chelsea twice. Don't know if we got dominated, but I hear what you're saying. So I was just checking I was on the right mic, so I got a little bit worried for a second there. But yeah, everything's running okay. Let me know if this is all running smoothly for you, the stream, that there's no lag and that everything's coming through okay. Welcome to everyone in the chat. Get your player ratings in, get your thoughts as we do each player. And I think we may as well just go straight into it. We've got it here. We're going to go from goalkeeper through to the other positions. I just want your rating. I just want your thoughts on all the players, where you'd put them here in this tier list. As I put them up on screen, you give me your thoughts as well. David Raya. I think we can keep this quite simple, can't we? He was brilliant. And you know what? Fair play to him. I was really, really critical of him for what was a stretch of games that went back as far as Bournemouth in January to pretty much the Wolves draw. I felt he'd been an error in that. I felt too many shots from distance were ending up in the back of the net, ones that I don't think were amazingly placed or had great power or pace, and he was getting there. So he wasn't getting there, sorry. I felt that there was a few errors as well that we were only punished for once or maybe twice. However, huge in the North London derby and huge in this game, making massive saves. That one from Garnacho, where Garnacho, he's put in that ball into the box that is probably the hardest to defend in football. And the reason I call it that is because when it's an in-swinger like that, from the moment it leaves its boot, it's a cross. But it is creeping, the ball's constantly curling towards that far corner. And if it takes one touch, Raya's rooted, right? There's nothing you can do. But if he doesn't, then if it doesn't take a touch, then Raya has to react immediately. He has a split second to acknowledge that a Chelsea player hasn't touched it and quickly bounce over to go and touch it away. And he does that, and he did really, really, really well. A lot of you are agreeing that he was unbelievable, says Ford on Football. But here we've got one not brilliant, but very good. I think he was great. Distribution felt better, especially his throwing out was quite good. He created some counter-attacking moments that the referee blew back for, which was annoying. But yeah, he did well. Thank you for the super chats. We'll be getting to them soon. But yeah, I think it's important that I gave David Raya quite a bit of praise because, you know, I've been critical of him, and I never forget that I've been critical of a player. And I really like these players. I don't enjoy it. I don't. And we're going to say for Tim. Speak, James. We're going to say the same for Timber in a second. If I've been critical about these players, it's because I'm just watching their performances and people say you've got agenda this, agenda that, you never like them, blah, blah. I love all these players. This group is the closest I've ever come to an incredibly successful season as an Arsenal fan. If they just win the Premier League alone, that would be the case, but there's maybe more on the plate. So I'm not trying to be critical of these players. Just if I feel like they're in bad form, I will just say I don't think they're playing well. But Raya was brilliant. And as I hinted at just there, I was about to say so was this guy, but I think I'm going to say very good. I think Timber was just a level below Raya, but let me know in the comment section if you think differently. But I did really, really like Timber's performance in this game. I've got to give him credit. I think in the Tottenham game too, when I said that I hadn't really seen any real patterns, any real changes in our attacking football, I think the understanding on the right-hand side might be one of the things that, to be fair, does look like it's gone back to October, November. In the Tottenham game, they were understanding each other really well, Saka and Timber. In this game, I really liked the way Timber was bombing on the inside of Saka, but making the right runs and getting into positions where he could whip the ball into the box, win a corner. The corner leads to the goal. He obviously scored as well. He's proving a threat from set pieces. I thought he defended well. He's always defended well, but he defended well in this game as well. I just liked Timber's performance. I mean, Reece James, you could see today with the quality of his delivery, the goal he pretty much scored, though it's an Nketiah goal. You could see that Reece James is a real superstar. And he showed that in the game at Stamford Bridge too. But Jurriën Timber, while he might lack something going forward, he's an absolute warrior. I've got to give him that. The amount he's been getting out on that pitch with all the injuries, well, with the big injury he had and the surgery in the summer, playing time and time again, and just he's a relentless runner. He plays a very tactically complex role in this team. But in this game, doing the basics of a fullback, which is supporting your right winger getting forward, I thought he did that really, really well. So huge credit to him. A lot of people are saying, yeah, very good with Raya, outstanding. Fluffed his shot after great skill in the second half, but very good. Can't quite remember it. Oh, yes. Well, I think that was the first half where Saka touched it to him and he cut in. Yeah, but that was great skill. And then, yeah, he did get the shot wrong, but I thought he did okay. Timber, the best player on the pitch, says Siddharth. Interesting. Okay, a lot of people, he's definitely not 100%. Fair enough. A lot of people are agreeing that he was very good. Okay, great, cool. So we move on to centre backs. Now, this gets interesting. This gets really interesting. I'm going to put, I think, I'm going to put both Saliba and Gabriel as good. That feels really harsh when they're basically the reasons we won the game. Gabriel with the header at the back post. Saliba obviously then flicks it towards goal with the deflection as it goes in. I felt João Pedro didn't give them problems like he did in the Carabao Cup game at the Emirates. But, there was definitely some good battles there. I also saw that Gabriel got man of the match, which surprised me. A lot of you saying both were very good. By the way, I don't for one second think they weren't good. Like, if I didn't, I'd put them in average. I thought they were good. I just didn't know whether they were like, did they stand out to me? This was kind of my feeling that they were solid. I can't say I felt massively. This is what I mean. James underrates Saliba every week. I mean, maybe, but like you say it like I have an agenda. Saliba was outstanding. Okay, but Gabriel got man of the match on Sky, apparently. Cool. Fair enough. Oh, go on. I'll give you all your wish. Didn't think they were bad. I never, ever, ever thought they were bad. Man, it's really hard to straighten it. Here we go. Never, ever thought they were bad or average or just okay. I thought they were good. Like I said, I just wasn't sure if they were very good. But you know what? The comments have overruled me with that one. So we'll go with that. Um, I think I just mean, I don't know how much I saw in terms of line breaking passes, in terms of did they bully João Pedro? I'm not sure. Did they bully any Chelsea player? I'm not sure. They were a threat from set pieces. There's no question of that. But cool. Very good. We'll put them there. I'm glad some people agree with me. Do we want to do? They were good, nothing more. I do agree. They were good, but nothing big stuff. Right. So now suddenly everyone, yeah. Saliba was good. Do you know what? Do you know what? Yeah, I agree with this. The midfield was hurting them. I definitely agree with this from Kevy. Do you know what? I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it. I don't care. Sorry, you did overrule me, but enough people have come in and said that I was right. So thank you. That doesn't mean I'm right. It's just my opinion. They were good. They had good games, but I don't think anyone like I don't think either of them were mega standout for me, and I'm very surprised that Gabriel got man of the match. But yeah, I'm sticking with it. Cool. Nkapie, good. I think he was good today. I like him. Makes some really good underlapping runs. Whipped a lovely ball into the box one or two times. But the own goal. So yeah, I think he might have been in very good had it not been for the own goal. And I know it's very unfortunate, but it also was an own goal and it was level. But it's not his fault. It's really not his fault. I appreciate that. So I'll just probably have him down as good. I just thought Timber was better than the three of them. That's why he goes there. And I thought Raya had some really outstanding moments. So I feel good about these at the moment. Okay, Zubamendi. Am I wrong, everyone? Am I wrong on Zubamendi to put him in the average category? I a lot of people are saying not great. A lot of people saying average, not great. Zubamendi. Oh, the back pass. Yeah, sorry. Thank you for reminding me of the back pass. I was trying to think of kind of key standout moments. That pushed him down. If you never did that, I'd have said average, kind of kept things moving. But you know what? You know why he was never going above average, and I think not great is the right answer. That back pass to David Raya was stupid. I really rarely whip out that word because it feels like quite heavy and quite insulting to the players. It was stupid. And when he got the one wrong against Man United, I don't think it was a stupid decision. I think it was really poor execution. And it annoyed me because in that moment of the game, we really didn't need an error. But I thought to actually go back to Ryan in that situation was stupid. And it was a bad decision. It was bad execution. I love Zubimendi. I think he's been one of the signings of the season. I think to slot into our midfield the way he has is super impressive. And the goal threat he is brilliant. But I think he's getting caught a little bit, and this might be him, Arteta, whoever. You know, since the Sunderland game, he's struggled. I think he's caught between, am I an 8 or am I a 6? Because he gets forward a lot. He had a moment where he got the ball onto his left foot and had a shot similarly to how he did at Stamford Bridge, and he scored a great goal there. He's clearly someone who can impact the final third. We've seen that a lot, even in recent weeks. But at the moment, I also want him to, as a 6, get on the ball and get us playing. Get on the ball, keep it. We were up against 10 men for what? 10, 20 minutes, however long it was, maybe longer. And at no point did we seize control. I mean, the stats were that's like since the red card, Chelsea had completed 100 and something passes to our 20. So I can't remember what the stat was, but it just, we didn't grab control. And ultimately, you look at the 6 to get you doing that. And the pass back was poor. So yeah, I want to go not great. And we'll stick with that. Declan Rice. I'm just going to put Declan Rice down as good. And do you know why I'm going to do that? Is because I felt for every genuinely brilliant thing Declan Rice did, he followed it up with something like really annoying. Like he made one brilliant recovery run on Pedro Neto and then booted it off the pitch. You know, we scored from one of his brilliant corners, but his corners also weren't great today. He could easily have been punished for the handball and the arms around. I can't remember who it was in the first half. So, like, for everything great Declan Rice did, and there were some great things he did, there were quite a lot of things in there that I was like, "Ooh, don't love this Declan." And he came off with an injury. So, yeah, I'm going to stay. I'm gonna stick with good. I think he was good today. He played a part in us winning the game. He ran all over the place like he always does. He's a relentless runner. I've got to give him credit for that. Oh, people are funny. Unless Declan Rice took the corner, right, for Timber. Am I getting that wrong? So I mean, so one must have. But anyway, um, yeah, I'm cool with Rice being put in the good category, just because there were some great things he did, but there were some things that, yeah, were a little frustrating at times. Eze, I'm gonna put an average. I thought Eze. Oh look, we've got his stats popping up. That's cool. Actually, that's a really useful tool. Look at that. That's that's a really cool feature. Big thanks to James Lawrence Alcott. So Eze, I think some people would have Eze as not great or poor. I don't think that's fair. I think Eze was average today. I think he was okay. I think the shot with his left that is saved by Sanchez is nice. I think he was involved in a couple nice like passages of play in and around, especially in the first half, in and around the penalty area. Didn't even mind the shot from distance with Sanchez off the halfway line. I think that was quite inventive. I thought he was really strong on the ball today. There were a few times he was given the ball and he was really good at just kind of under pressure, holding defenders off and keeping it moving. He wasn't creative today. He wasn't a killer today. He wasn't scintillating, entertaining. He didn't get you off your feet. But I actually thought he did okay. I really had no problem. I thought he looked after the ball quite well, but obviously you want a little bit more invention. I think the whole team struggled though from that perspective. So I think he was average. Again, a lot of people will say he was poor or not great, but I have him down as average. Thank you, appreciate that. That's very kind. Yeah, and I knew a lot of people were going to say he was poor. He looked positive at the start, but struggled to get into the game. All four attackers were poor. None of them deserve anything more than poor. All of them poor, poor, poor. Okay, fine. He should have passed that shot too. I need to watch it back, but I'll take your word for it. I agree. People are harsh on Eze. I agree. He did have a good defensive game, worked hard. He was okay. Kind of good with the ball today. James, to be honest, I'm being honest. So I'm saying he was the poorest of the lot. Okay. Cool. Look, I'm comfortable with my rating for him. Okay. Trossard. Trossard's the closest player to poor for me. He's the closest player to poor. But there were a couple passes on the left, you know, in field to players, in Cappy on the lap that were really nice. But make no mistake about it, he was hooked off. Trossard was hooked off. Arteta did not like what he was seeing. And he brought Martinelli on, who, by the way, I thought looked really good. And we will cover that. Yeah, I wasn't impressed by Trossard at all, though there were some signs there. There were some nice things. I think that's really all I've got to say for Trossard. Thing is, I find this interesting. He was lacking quality. I'm really interested to see what people give Saka in this game. Really interested to see what people give Saka in this game. Because I'd argue that they did show flashes of quality. I think both of them showed flashes of quality on the touchline, combining with the fullback. But the difference is Saka got the ball and bravely drove in field and tried to make things happen, tried to be fouled, tried to break the game for us. But Trossard was quite static throughout. He didn't seem buzzy, didn't seem involved. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with not great. Saka. You tell me. Comments. I think Saka played some lovely passes down the right. You know, he set up Timber with the underlap, which leads to the corner. Saka whips the ball into the box for the set. You know, the set piece is a brilliant delivery. He then tees up for Timber, who really should score in the first half. He beat his fullback, you know, a couple of times in that second half quite well. Do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'll put Saka as good. I think I've listed plenty of things there that are worth putting him down as good. Eze wasn't better than Saka, and I don't think he was great today. Interesting. A lot of people saying average, and I understand that. Did Saka create, to be fair? He literally put in an unstoppable, and I don't use that word lightly. You cannot stop that cross into the box from the corner that Gabriel gets his head on. He does that goal is maybe Saliba's goal and Gabriel's assist, but it's 90% Saka's work. It really is. And if we're going to talk about, you know, wanting moments from players, that's a moment. So I'm doing it. I'm going to put him in the good category, mainly because of that. But I think he made some things happen. Okay, Victor Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres was average. I think Gyökeres was at times frustrating. I didn't like what he did one-on-one facing the centre-backs. But I did like the way he was holding up the ball at times and trying to flick the ball in behind it like first time. I quite like that. I know a few things he got wrong, but I liked the intent. And I think you keep trying that, one or two will come off. But there are a few things that did land to players. There's honestly some decent hold-up play from Gyökeres, and there's some good channel running. A few times we just went from one end of the pitch to the other because Gyökeres was making that run and stretching. So yeah, I thought he was average today. I thought he did okay. Martinelli. What should we give Martinelli? I'll bring him down if I have to, but I think Martinelli was very good when he came on, you know. I thought he was. Got Pedro Neto sent off. He beat Reece James a few times, which I thought, okay, that's not an easy thing to do. I thought Martinelli looked lively. I thought he came on and gave us like an energy and a pace and actually like a bit of just quality, like real genuine driving quality. So I think Martinelli belongs in the very good category. I genuinely like that cameo. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone disagree? Impact player. Very good. Is also fine for him. Very good. Quick. Good. Got Pedro sent off. Electric. Better than Saka. Very good. Cool. All right. Glad plenty of people agree that Martin was very good when he came on. Okay. I think with Norgard and Havertz, we can keep it quick. They came on to do a particular job. And I think the team was struggling. So they weren't ever going to come on and like win us the game and nick us a third. I think they were both average. I didn't really notice anything from Kaya. I can't even remember him like doing anything. You know, I thought they just came on and were fine. Norgard was fine. But that was all they needed to do. Come on and just don't do anything stupid and see out the win. All right. Those are my player ratings, people. That's my tier list. Raya, brilliant. Timber and Martinelli, very good. Saliba, Gabriel, and Capie, Rice, and Saka were all good today. Eze, Gyökeres, Norgard, Havertz, pretty average. With Zubimendi and Trossard, not great. I don't think I'll put anyone down as poor. I know we had a poor game. I know the general performance was really uninspiring. But I don't, you beat Chelsea 2-1, following the North London derby win. I don't think I can come here and say that anyone was poor. Some players were close, and I think a harsher man than me would have dropped quite a few players down a few tiers here. but I feel quite comfortable with this list. Very interested to know whether I watch a Gabriel comp later that might do the rounds, that might change my mind on him. And maybe Saliba I do underrate to a degree, and he makes the game look easy. But to a degree, you're a victim of your own success, right? To a degree. You know, Martinelli is in the very good category, maybe because I didn't expect much from him coming on, but he made a couple of things happen, and that was impressive because of the amount of work, body of work in a short amount of time. Whereas Saka did more than Martinelli in the whole game, but obviously had longer to do it. So there's all these things you can consider. Drossard was poor, James. You're being too kind. Yeah, maybe I am. Maybe I am. Okay, let's go into your super chats. English Idiot 96 says we seem to go to our opponent's level in games. Okay, I'm going to say something. I don't know how this is going to make me feel, make me look or sound or whatever. But let's try land the analogy, and let me know in the comment section below if there's like another sport this applies to. Have you ever like the only game I've ever felt this with is tennis. You ever played in tennis? Yeah. For what it's worth, I mean, I had lessons growing up, and I played with, a coach, who I'd have lessons once a week. It was a bit of fun. I really enjoyed the sport. And the coach would always hit a nice ball to you. So you would hit it back well, like a nice flat, like that high above the net, top spin forehand back. And you'd be able to get into a rhythm because someone's hitting it back to you the same way. So you're kind of back and forth rallying, and it's nice. But if you play with someone who can't play tennis, I mean, no disrespect when I say that, and they hit a really high bobbly ball, it's really hard to control a high bobbly ball and turn it back into a nice shot over the net, because you haven't got that kind of, you haven't got that kind of back and forth. You've got up and then across and then up and then across. And so you don't get in a rhythm. So to apply that stupid analogy to this super chat, it does feel like sometimes we drop to the level of our opponents in games. Basically, if it becomes a game about duels and long balls and set pieces and physicality and hard running, then that's the game that we embrace and we play it. Having said that, let's be fair and ask this question. How much of it is we play to our opponent's level, and how much of it is they play to our level? Or how much is it we drag teams into that kind of game because it's what we're best at? Duels, aggression, energy, set pieces. That's what we thrive on. So is it us dragging other teams into that kind of a match? Because how often are our games the non-exciting, non-entertaining ones? I'd say quite often. But it's an interesting super chat. Yeah, anyway. Anyone at all relate? I lost you at tennis. Never let bro cook. What was your LTA rating? Oh, no idea. I never had one. Although I did play the LTA a few times. Anyone else? Anyone relate to this tennis one? It's just me? Okay, just me. Cool. Okay. Let's just go back to the super chats. We've only got 90 seconds to round it all up anyway. Carl says, okay, James, might be niche, but you look at Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park 2, just younger. Oh, I look like Jeff Gold. Oh, okay. Also, got to be better versus Brighton. Do I? Okay. Fine. I've never had that one before. I've had Harry Potter. That's just because of the glasses. ETAFC says, Nkapie could be slowly, low-key, maybe entering signing the season territory. Sir Jamesworth Wolfcastle. How did you know that was my name? He's looking good, isn't he? He's playing really well. Fair play to him. Second tennis analogy today. Yes. If you call me on Talk Sport, that's my second tennis analogy today. So fair play. Didn't know any of you tuned into that. So thank you. What do you mean you've got 90 seconds? Who's going to pull the plug? Guys, I've got to go for a run. I need to go have dinner. Then we've got Loose Cannons recording. I'd love to stay live longer. I really, really would. But I like to limit these to half an hour, get it all in there so people can easily rewatch it after. But of course, I will never miss an opportunity to make content and go live. So if there's ever anything that brings me here to the live streams, you will know about it. And you can know about it by subscribing and hitting the bell so you know when we're live and you know when we've uploaded and you know when we're doing content here. All right. Hope you're all well. Have a good evening to you too. Hope you've all had a great weekend. Big thank you for tuning into the player ratings. I really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and we'll go from there. How am I even going to? There we go. All right. I'll go out to run a live stream. Love. See you all in a bit.